bro. Just straight ran that red light. That's crazy. This one is so much easier to control than the other variation I was using. It just has the right amount of grip. The other one, it was just gripping at the wrong times and losing traction at the wrong times. And a tidbit for anybody that actually wants to follow my channel and the IRL videos I'm going to be doing. This is definitely a car that I'm pretty heavily considering buying as my next car. Not the S650 though, the S550, because the S650s are just so ridiculously priced. And for a very similar chassis and the exact same motor, I just don't see it being worth it whatsoever to shell out an extra 10 to 20 grand just to get a new body style and updated interior. I think the main thing for a lot of people is the updated interior, and I personally could care less about it. The 6th Gen SS, 6th Gen Camaro SS, has been a car I've been eyeing for a very long time. I like the bigger displacement V8 and the 5-liter Coyote. I like the sound and the handling in comparison on the 6th gens is, in my opinion, inarguably better to a Mustang GT. And I think that's a widely shared opinion. For me, that definitely matters, but at the same time, I built my car, I mean, obviously, it having basically no power. I built, most of the mods done on it are handling mods, so it's still very basic, but considering there's nothing else done, wider wheels, better tires, coilovers, sway bar. But then, when I drive it, it feels good, but there's just nowhere to use it. So that's why I'm like, if I really shell out the extra money for the 6th gen to get better handling, like how often am I really going to take it to a track? I do want to take my next car to a track, at least a couple of times, but how realistic is that really, The thing with the 6th gens now is it's just impossible with the market. Like, since they were discontinued, they've just skyrocketed. And I know they're widely seen as one of the better sports cars for the money, so they're just becoming harder and harder to obtain. I could go LT1, which is like, I've heard is more comparable to the SS, and it's more comparable to the GT, and that's like a level below the SS. It doesn't have the additional oil coolers and stuff like that the SS comes with, which isn't a huge deal. You still get the motor, you still get the Tremec manual, which is one of the main reasons that I want the SS. But crash test successful. It was definitely survivable. Alright, so now here we have the Shelby Super Snake-R variant of this car. And this is the absolute top of the line Shelby. I believe what Ford did is they came out with the GT350, and the GT500 equivalent is now the Super Snake. This one is the race spec, I believe, so it has additional aero, probably better tires, stuff like that. As I was saying earlier in the video, the Shelby variants of this mod do have a different engine. So supposedly it is supercharged. You can see the rev limit is now 6.5K, and it sounds like this. Personally, not as much of a fan of the sound of this one, but definitely a different driving experience. One thing that was interesting to me, I need to verify this, I was talking about this before, but I believe for the GT350, the S650 GT350, they did away with the 5.2 liter Voodoo engine, and it is now a 5 liter supercharged Coyote, which is pretty disappointing to me. I absolutely love the S550 GT350. It's one of my favorite cars with the higher red line, but in this mod, the GT350 also uses the same Shelby engine, so it's not really much different to me than the Super Snake. I figured might as well just use the top variant, so let's have some fun with this one. So right off the bat, I can immediately feel this thing handles way better. Feels like it's actually on rails. I personally, as I've said, I haven't driven a ton of cars in real life, but through my experience with various mods and such, just, you know, I like sound a lot. I really like high revving cars. Things like the E92 M3, again, Shelby GT350, the S550. It just gives the car so much character, the sound. You know, I think it's quite an experience, even if those are slower, quote-unquote, cars. This is so cool. I feel like if they... See, and I don't know, I'm going to try to put this in the video. I don't know what the red line is on the real-life cars. But according to this mod, it's 6,500, which that extra 1,000 RPM missing definitely surprisingly makes a difference. You know, you obviously get a lot more torque down low, but just not the same as the Coyote revving out to 7,500. And that's not something that I was expecting to notice a difference in, you know? Especially within a mod. But it is actually surprisingly noticeable, which ties back into my discussion of my next car, because comparing Coyote to the LT1, I believe, in the SS, Coyote has a 7,500 RPM red line, whereas the LT1, I don't believe that it revs quite to 7. It would be like 6,800, I'm not exactly sure. But obviously being a 6.2 liter V8 instead of a 5.0, you get a lot more torque down low, so you don't really need the extra revs. But yeah, it is definitely intriguing to me. I would drive a boosted Coyote for sure and see how that experience is. And I know you can even tune them to rev up to 8K, I'm pretty sure, with obviously probably quite a bit of modification, but boosted Coyote revving to 8K would be pretty insane to me. That's where I feel like this car just kind of falls short. I mean, obviously based off this mod, I'm sure this car feels great in real life, but it's just, yeah, it's just, I mean, it handles just awesome, so I think we should just play into that here. Don't mind my diffuser sticking out like that. So get rid of that right here. No, it is hanging on for dear life. Brakes in this thing are almost insane as well. Let's try to get a top speed run in here. Let's see what we can do. Okay. Just gonna pop a U here. So used to the other variants of the cars we've been testing, which cannot, bro, I was going to say cannot take turns like that, but it's more tremendous speed too, honestly. It feels like this car is not built around top speed for sure. Definitely see the big spoiler in the back and the spoiler in the front are definitely pulling way more downforce, hence the better handling, which I think equates to a lot lower top speed, which would make complete sense. I presume that I might crash and die right here. So now I have our next variant here, which is the S650 GT with a Pro Charger. Sounds pretty ridiculous in a kind of obnoxious way. Handles like an absolute boat. It can barely turn sideways, but is undoubtedly fast. And that is what happens when you money shift. Catastrophic over rev damage. Engine depleted. Which probably wasn't the best place to make a U-turn, you know? To figure out how to deploy the parachute, bro. There's always a backup right here. Alright, here we go, 220. Let's not money shift 343. Oh boy, that's not good. Alright, so now we have this variant, which is called Runner. I don't think there's anything significantly different from the last one, except that this one is way louder, straight piped. Has no parachute, has a gap cam instead, but seems to be making more boost, so we're about to test that out right now. Let's do 50 roll. Okay, yeah, it's definitely making a lot more boost. Pretty sure I just saw 42 PSI there. The other was pushing 12. So I don't know what the setup difference is, but I think we need to mess with this one more. This gigantic hood scoop makes first person basically unusable. Up so well, it's actually wrong. Holy, this thing is really loud. That's on me. Kind of forgot we were in a drag pack. We have literally no handling. Already at 200. Oh my gosh. This one absolutely needs the parachute. This one has no problem sliding because it's making enough boost to spin the tire even on the track pack. Get a more equitable, fair run on the other direction here. We started out in like third coming out of the tunnel. I mean, that was like 240 something. The issue is going to be braking because we have no brakes. I think we have discovered an objective here, which is we're going to try to reach top speed. I'm trying to gauge what that would be. So our objective is going to be to reach 280 miles an hour on the straight on the way back, and then come out of that without crashing. My wheel is completely sideways right now, but we're going to attempt this run anyway. Oh my god, we have no steering to the left. This is bad, this is bad, this is bad. So I think 280 is a perfect target, because we're at about 270 there with no steering, and then obviously to 6 again. And then obviously did not break in time. How is the car alive? Look at my wheel, bro. Let's try a second gear burnout. Let's try third gear. Straight spinning to 100 is crazy. Oh my gosh. He almost took us out. Alright, here we go. 200, 210, 220, 230. 60, 70. Oh. Could survive that, honestly. Can you imagine the whiplash on that? Go straight to third. Dump the clutch. Oh. This is the type of power I was looking for out of this car. 100%. I need more speed. As soon as possible. Okay, right here. That's not good. Okay. 280 is gonna be so tough. No, we don't have enough space. Even 270, so I think we're gonna come down to 270. And this is also the longest stretch on this map, so we can't do it here. We can't do it anywhere. It's crazy how easily this thing hits 200 though. Fourth gear burnout, can we do it? No. Just demolishing the clutch. Third gear we can't. Carry more speed through this tunnel, but it's just so hard. Because of this curve right here, the car just does not want to turn. It's on skinnies on the drag pack. Alright, 200. That was almost it, man. So we're in third from like 20. Just want to see how the boost builds. Ready and full throttle. It's actually crazy that it hooks up like that. Can't miss my gears, man. This thing desperately needs a parachute. Or something. Activating the ABS like every 5 seconds, bro. Every time I touch the brake, just the ABS just goes crazy instantly. Uh-oh. Slide the drag back. Straight through. Oh, the way this thing hooks up. Uh-oh. I'm gonna do third gear burnout in the tunnel past this guy. Okay. Cooking it, man. Gap cam POV was crazy. Okay, 270. Oh, there it is. Oh. Oh yeah, we're good. Bumper and diffusers hang out for dear life, bro. Yeah, we're good though. Demolished bugs. No way that worked out like that. I can't even keep this straight. Go pick up my bumper off the road, I'll be back. I just love doing third gear burnouts in this thing. Oh. Can't see anything. Oh my gosh. I think we're gonna start in 4th this time. Let's give that a shot. This POV is so weird. You guys saw that, right? You guys are my witnesses. The NPCs are trying to demolish us. That wasn't a 4th gear start I was looking for, but let's see what we can do here. I need the parachute, bro. just gonna send in the opposite direction. I don't care. Bro. Apparently, there's ocean underneath us. Bro, these NPCs. Alright, now you're just trolling me, bro. Not the mirror. Oh boy. Bro got absolutely demolished. Wonder who did that? Definitely wasn't me. I think the cap can fell off the car. That's gonna hurt us. because 250 no problem, 260 pretty much no problem. I'm talking about hitting 260 and then braking and not crashing basically. But 270, problem is, you're hitting 250, 260 pretty easily. 270, it only gets there at the very last second. So you have to basically time it perfectly. As I was saying, you have to basically time it perfectly with the brakes. Too much brakes, you're just going to straight understeer into the wall. Not enough brakes, you're going to straight understeer into the wall. I think we start on the throttle soon enough on this one, but let's see. There's like this little hill right at the end here that gives you like that last 10-mile-an-hour bump. Oh man. Bro, that had to be intentional. There's just no way. He was trying to take us out. Tap the barrier, but I'll take that. That was way harder than it should have been. I was getting so frustrated that I couldn't do it. I kept crashing in the dumbest ways possible, I swear. Now for my final challenge in this video, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. We're going to try something a little bit more interesting here. Let me show you what I mean. Basically just that. Just hit a straight up barrel roll and land it perfectly. So for this round I'm not going to be going for any specific top speed, but we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Way harder than I'm thinking it is, but let's see. It's gonna be my first try here. Well, if you guys couldn't see what my idea is there, my idea is to try to send it straight through the toll booth, going the opposite direction at max speed. And I kind of figured out that with traffic on, the cars that go through the toll, so that's definitely going to make it harder, but let's see what we can do. Not gonna lie guys, I'm kind of just subjecting myself to torture here. Both of these things I did not think were going to be as hard as they are. But it's alright, we're going to get it done. I was so close in that one attempt. Like 2 feet away. I think we have a strategy in place now. Strategy is to send it. See, I told you it wasn't that hard. Oh my god. Can't even tell it's a car anymore. Holy. That's crazy. Seriously, we can get to this bridge now. Excuse me, sir. Oh no, our wheel's fried. I'm under the water. I have zero regard for this car right now, like I'm just straight sending it. I told you it was not me. That one definitely gonna hurt your femur a little bit. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry. Oh. So you guys can probably tell that this variation of the mod is a little bit more spicy. So I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do is make a part 2 strictly using this car specifically and doing more crazy driving like this, and we'll go ahead and do a couple different maps maybe, and then we'll add cops in, stuff like that, and I think that would be a fun video, so probably will be the next video. I feel like I've gone on long enough in this one. I wish I'd known how crazy this variation of the mod was a little bit sooner, and I probably would have just centered this video around this variation, but this video would be more to showcase the mod itself, and then we'll kind of play around with this, as I said, in the next video. So, alright, now we're going to say the next time that I crash, the video ends, and we're just going to keep going until that happens.